video. Before we get started with the video today, I need y'all to like, comment, subscribe, and let's jump into the video. Okay, so my vibe for today is like a little bit more chill. I'm actually a little bit tired. I was gonna take a nap, but again, I decided like I'm gonna be consistent, so I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna make a video. If y'all hear that chirping in the background, try to ignore that. That's the fire alarm, and I think that when it chirps, I think that could possibly mean that the batteries need replacing. I'm not sure, but just try to ignore that. I know it's a little bit irritating. I'm sorry, but I'm kind of pregnant, so I can't get up there and change the batteries right now. But they're gonna get changed soon, so if that's what that means. So today's video is going to be, I'm going to share my labor and delivery experience with y'all. Because as y'all know, my baby is about to be 2, and I took a long hiatus, you know, just dealing with being a mom and getting used to taking care of him and like incorporating that into my everyday life. So I've had a lot of time to like reflect and think and remember and watch videos and see pictures and hear people's like vocal accounts of what happened that day. So I'm gonna give y'all a minute to go like the video real quick, and then after I feel like y'all have liked the video, then I'll get started. Ignore my hands, they're probably ashy. Why is y'all liked it yet? Okay, let's jump into it then. So, excuse me. So, on February the 24th of 2021, I noticed like my stomach started hurting. Okay, mind y'all, let me back it up. So my due date was February 20th. And when February 20th came, there was no baby. Like, baby did not come. He was in there chilling. He was not ready to get out. So my midwife, she had told me like beforehand, like, honestly, you know, a lot of first time moms go past their due date. I don't think you're gonna have your baby until March. So don't really worry if he doesn't come on your due date. Like, we'll still be checking to make sure he's fine. We won't let it go too long, you know, stuff like that. So I'm like, okay. So this whole time, as it's getting close and close to February 20th, I'm getting like nervous because I'm like, you know, like it's time for me to have this baby. I'm about to have this baby, y'all. So February 20th came with no baby. 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Like, there was no baby. Mind y'all, my son's daddy, his birthday is the same week. And for his birthday, we went mini golfing and everything. So here I am, 9 months, walking around doing mini golf. All these things like as if I'm not pregnant, because like he just was not coming. Like, I wasn't getting Braxton Hicks. I wasn't feeling anything. It was just, I don't know, like he just was not trying to come. So the evening of February 24th, my stomach started hurting, and it didn't feel really like anything out of the usual, out of the ordinary. Like, girls, y'all know we always talk about my stomach hurt. So it was really just one of those. It kind of felt like, excuse me, it felt like maybe I had gas or something, but it still wasn't as intense as gas. It was like maybe gas, or like I ate something that upset my stomach. So I'm like, you know what, I need something to like just take my mind off of it or whatever. Like, in my mind, I didn't think that I was going into labor. I don't know why that was not an idea for me, but apparently that's what was happening. I was actually contracting, and I didn't know that that's what was happening. So it was like maybe 10 or 11, I started painting while my boyfriend was watching the game. My boyfriend, he was just like, maybe you need to find something to like get your mind off of it. And I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna paint while you watch the game. While you play the game. So I'm painting. I painted like maybe 2 pictures. I was drawing and stuff. Like, I'm really good at painting and drawing. So that really did take my mind off of it. So then it was like time to go to sleep. I was about to head to sleep, and I'm like, you know what, my stomach is hungry. My stomach is hurting. Maybe I'm hungry. Like, maybe I need a snack. So I'm gonna grab the banana. And that's why I have the banana in this video today. Like, everybody who knows me know I love bananas. My son grew up to love bananas, and this banana was the last thing I ate before I had my son. So it's crazy. Like, it's crazy. So I ate a banana maybe like 1:30 that morning. So by this time, it's February 25th. It's 1 a.m. in the morning. So I ate the banana, and I was texting my friend. I'm like, girl, my stomach is hurting. I think maybe I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat this banana and I'm gonna go to sleep. So I ended up going to sleep. And my boyfriend, we get up every morning. We take the kids to school. Well, at this time, we were taking the kids to school. We were taking my boyfriend's son and his nephew to school, because, you know, the kids, like, we the cool auntie and uncle, and like everybody loved to come spend the night and stuff like that. So we was taking the kids to school the next morning. So we get up like 7:30. We was getting up at like 7:30 every morning. And during my pregnancy, I don't know, like I had the urge to want to be up every morning. I wanted to get up and like do stuff. Like I didn't want to lay in the bed and get lazy and stuff like that. So I got up every single morning at 7:30, like I was gonna go to work, and I would ride with him to take the kids to school. So this morning in particular, like as I'm getting up, like, well, first of all, I usually always wake up because I hear the alarm, but this time I did not get up right away. So my boyfriend, he came to the door like, what's up, you not coming? I'm like, yeah, I'm coming, like, let me get up. So I'll lean over to get up, and as I lean over, I get like a sharp pain in my stomach. I'm like, okay, that was weird, but I didn't think nothing of it though. I'm like, okay, that was weird. So I just got up or whatever, put on my shoes, wash my face, brush my teeth, whatever. I didn't change clothes, like I just didn't. I just got right in the car because I wasn't getting out. So we get in the car, whatever. We stop, we get the kids some breakfast. We getting in traffic. The school is maybe like 30 minutes away from my house with the morning traffic. So we, as we like getting off the highway, about to like, you know, go into the neighborhood of dropping the kids off to their school, I got like a strong cramp, like a strong sharp pain in my stomach. And I stopped, I'm like, ooh. And I looked over at my boyfriend. He's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, like, I just got a weird, like, sharp pain, but it's okay. And he was like, you might have a baby today. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I was just trying to play it off, whatever. Because I think at that point when he said that, it made me like a little nervous. I'm like, boy, like, I'm not gonna have this baby today, you know? So we dropped the kids off to school. We head back home. We get back on the highway. As we leaving, the sharp pain come again, and I'm like, hey, to my boyfriend, I'm like, hey, the pain happened again. He like, you sure you okay? I'm like, I think I'm okay. Like, he like, what do it feel like? I tried to describe it to him. He was like, you think maybe you're going into labor? I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. So we just driving again. I want to say like maybe 5 minutes later, y'all, the pain came back. This time, the pain was enough to like make me like shed a tear. And I told him, I'm like, oh, I'm like, okay, this was a contraction. And I'm like, I have to, like, something gotta, you know what I'm saying? So I think I called my boyfriend's mom, and I told her what was happening. And she was like, it sounds like you have contractions. You need to time them, and you need to get in touch with your midwife. And I'm like, okay. But mind you, I was living out of town at this time, so I wasn't in the same state as my mama, so I didn't want her to like worry until I knew that I was having the baby or whatever. So I called my midwife, and she's like, okay, well, I'm like an hour away. I'm about to and she was like, I'm like an hour away. Call me when you get home and let me know what's going on. I'm like, okay. So we pull up to the house. I'm like, come on, let's hurry up and get me in the house, because I want to get in the house before another contraction comes. So he's like, okay. So I'm trying to walk to the house, and I thought I was walking fast. I wasn't walking fast. From the car to the house, I didn't even make it it was like not even 50 feet. I didn't make it that whole way. I made it like 20 feet, and I had to stop because I was having another contraction. And my boyfriend, he stopped, and he looked, he's like, you okay? I'm like, heck no. I need to get in the house ASAP. So as soon as I got in the house, I sat on the couch, like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, I feel a lot of pressure. I need to go to the restroom. So I went to the restroom. And so I'm like using the restroom and stuff. And so I call my midwife. I'm like, you know, it's hurting. It's happening every blah blah blah. She's like, please time it for me and send me a video, send me like a screenshot of how you're timing it and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay. So I did that. And then she finally she called me back like, yeah, you're in labor. I'm about to get ready. I'm gonna get dressed and I'm gonna come to you. So I told my boyfriend, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna have this baby today. And he was like, you ready? And I'm like, I ain't got no choice. Like, I wasn't ready. But, you know, it just is what it is. So we waited for like an hour. So I just laid on the couch, and my boyfriend, he was just like comforting me and stuff. So I laid on the couch. I tried to drink some water. I started getting really hot, like my body, I started getting really hot. So I like took off all my clothes, and then I started getting cold. So I like asked for a blanket. So my midwife, she ended up coming, her and my doula, they ended up coming to the house because I had a planned home birth. So I had the pool. So when my midwife came, her and my boyfriend and the doula, they set up the pool. They filled it up with water right in the middle of our living room. And I relaxed a little bit. She checked my cervix and everything to see how much I was dilating. By the time she got there, I was 204. And she was like, how are you doing? I was like, I'm doing okay. This just really hurts, but I'm fine, whatever. And she was like, I'm gonna ask you right now, like, do you feel like you're gonna need an epidural? Because once you get to a 6, you can't get it, like, we won't be able to take you to the hospital at that point. It'll be too risky. I'm like, no, I can do it. So you know, she checked my heart rate, checked the baby's heartbeat, checked my blood pressure, things like that, try to talk me through the contractions. And then I eventually, once the pool got filled up, I got into the pool. So I'm sitting in the pool, like it was helping the contractions, except the back pain. It wasn't helping that because like, I feel like you need pressure on your back when you're having those contractions like in your back. And in that water, it was like no support. You know, like when you're in pain, you want to squeeze something or like push something or pull. Like you don't have that support in the pool. Like you literally just sitting there like this on the pool, like miserable. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to thug this out. I told my boyfriend, I'm like, hey, I need to use the restroom. Like, he's like, you gotta pee? I'm like I gotta go. So he like, okay. So I asked my midwife, I'm like, it's okay for me to get out of the pool? She's like, girl, yeah, this your house, like go. So I'm like, okay. So I go to the I go to the restroom, and I was like stuck on the toilet for like 20 minutes. Y'all, I was like throwing up and pooping at the same time, and I was in so much pain. I felt so much pressure, and in my mind I was scared. I'm like, what if I push the baby into the toilet? I was so nervous, right? So I was sitting on the toilet, and I had my boyfriend to bring me another chair so I can like lean over it like this. So I'm sitting in the bathroom like that, and it was just terrible for like 20 minutes. And then about time I got up off the toilet, I'm like, okay, I don't have no energy. And I told my midwife, I'm like, I have to go lay in my bed. And I was like, I cannot get back in that pool. I have to lay in my bed. And she was like, okay, that's fine. So I got in the bed. And once I got in the bed, it's like the contractions kicked it all the way up a notch. They was like, oh, you in the bed? Oh, you in the bed? We finna. And I'm just like what's your point, you know? But yeah, that was that. And so you know, she's coming through, she's like checking my stomach, checking my cervix and things. And I remember telling her a few times, like, I'm like, I don't like when you do that. Can you stop? Like, can you please stop putting your fingers in there, and please don't, like, please stop touching me. I don't. And she's like, well, I'm sorry, but I have to. I'm like, no, you don't have to do that. I'm telling you. Like, she's like, I'm sorry, I know it hurts. And I'm like, you don't know. Like, that's what I'm thinking in my head. But like, I know she knows, she got kids too, but I'm thinking like, you don't know, like, I don't want you to. That's what I'm thinking in my head. So I laid in the bed, I'm like going to sleep. Mind y'all, this whole time while I'm in labor, I was like on FaceTime with my mama. So at the house, it was just me, my boyfriend, my midwife, and the doula. And so while I'm in labor, I'm like on FaceTime with my mama, who's like 1,500 miles away. We're on FaceTime with my boyfriend's mom. I think she was probably at work. And then, yeah, we were like, oh, and then my boyfriend, his sister came. And she was really helpful. She went back and forth to the store for us a few times. I had got hungry, so my boyfriend went to go buy me some chicken. But when he got back to the house and tried to give me the chicken, I took one bite and I threw up. I You know, I tried to drink some Gatorade. My favorite Gatorade is the yellow one, and they bought me a yellow Gatorade. I could not drink that. I couldn't drink water. I just couldn't anything. I just couldn't do anything. I had no energy the whole time. Like, I didn't know this at first, but they showed me the video, and I would be laying on the couch like this, knocked out, and then a contraction would come, and I would wake up like, screaming from the contraction, and then I would pass right back out. And they said I just kept doing that, just kept doing it for hours, and I didn't have a clue. I didn't know, like, I was completely out of it. And so yeah, fast forward, I'm in the bed, and you know, once I got in the bed, I feel like things like moved a little bit faster. And once I'm in the bed, you know, the midwife came in and checked me again, and I'm like, oh my God, here we go again with this. But she told me, like, okay, you know, it's time to push, like, you can push now. And I'm like, no, I think what happened, I think I told her, I'm like, I have the urge to push now. And she was like, okay, I'm gonna check you and see how far you dilated. And she checked me, and then she was like, yeah, it's time to push. And I'm like, push what? Like, I don't know how to push. So I'm literally trying to push how I think I'm supposed to push, and it wasn't right. Like, I was making no progress, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good for me. I mean, my midwife, she says, like, I did a really good job. Everything was great. It went smooth. But for me, it wasn't good because I was pushing for like 45 minutes and nothing was happening. I'm like, oh. So I'm just steady pushing. I tried a couple different positions. I tried to be like on my hands and knees. That one was hard. I tried to be on my side with my leg up. Eventually I just went to my back because I had no energy, and like my intentions, I didn't, you know, everybody's like, oh, you don't want to push your baby out on your back. Until you're in labor and you feeling that pain and your legs is weak and you can't hold yourself up, don't tell nobody how to push no baby out, for real. Because I tried all the different positions, and that was just the easiest one because I had no energy. Like, it probably would have been easier to push my baby up if I had been like on my feet, but you need energy in your legs for that, and I didn't have that. So I'm like, you know, we got to get this baby out one way or the other. So I end up actually, you know, I end up giving birth to him after pushing for like 45 minutes. And it's like, when you pushing, I kept telling her, I'm like, I'm pushing, it's not working. She was like, right when you push and it's hurting, try to push a little bit more, and that's what's gonna get him out. I'm like, okay. So on my next contraction, I'm like, okay. So I'm pushing, I'm like, and right when it felt like I couldn't push no more, I started giving it all I had. And they was like, uh-oh, we see hair. I'm like, y'all see hair? Like, finally, let's get him out of here. So I started pushing, y'all, and I put my hand down there and I felt my baby hair. I'm like, oh my God, like, it's time to get him out of here. This is almost done. Like, I was crying because I'm happy he finna get out, but I was happy that this pain was finna be over. So I'm pushing him. I ended up pushing his head out, so his head was out, but his shoulders and stuff was still in. And I asked them, I'm like, is he out? They were like, almost. And I'm like, you still ain't out? Like, you stubborn. Like, you already passed due. Come on and get out, right? So after like maybe 5 more pushes, I finally got him out. And mind you guys, like, I went my whole pregnancy not knowing if he was a boy or a girl. So when he came out, I still didn't want to know. I had already told my midwife ahead of time, like, don't tell me what he is. When he comes out, when the baby comes out, sit the baby directly on my chest. I don't want to see private part. I don't want to see any of that. I'm gonna show daddy the private part and let daddy announce it. So once I got the baby all the way pushed out, you know, and I'm holding him on my chest, warming him up and stuff, my boyfriend, he went outside to take him a deep breath. Came back in maybe 2 minutes later. Once he came back in, I showed him the baby's private. And by looking at his expression, I'm like, I know it's a boy. And we had our boy. And it was just really an amazing experience. Like, being able to control who was in the room, where I gave birth, how I gave birth, just everything about it was amazing to me. The fact that I was going to be able to eat if I wanted to, the fact that I was in my comfort of my own home, I was in my bed, I had started in the pool, like, it was amazing. Like, I could have reached down and pulled him out had I wanted to. I don't know how they would have reacted to that at the hospital. I don't know. Like, it was amazing. I didn't have to have any stitches, nothing. It was just great. Like, it was amazing. I feel like I'm really happy that I had that experience to know exactly how that feel and how much determination and strength goes into giving birth to a human. However, with this next pregnancy, I'm not sure I will do it the natural route again, because that pain is something that I can't even describe to y'all, and I would honestly be crazy to put myself through that again, okay? Like, you know, I was on my whole spiritual, natural stuff, you know, and I'm still into that. But after having that experience, I do believe, I do believe some brain cells got I don't know. I think that pain is like some type of trauma in the brain of a woman, and I won't be voluntarily experiencing that pain again. So I do plan to get medicine this time, and you know, this pregnancy is just like a little bit different. So I'm just handling it like, I'm not trying to handle it the same way I handled my first pregnancy. I was just in labor for like 10 hours. That's not bad. I don't know how it's gonna go this time, but what I do know, they're gonna have to give me some of them drugs. For sure. So I just wanted to share that. I really never, you know, unless you know me personally, you never knew. I mean, obviously, how would you? But y'all know me personally now. We besties. So that's my labor and delivery story. I hope I didn't scare y'all, but that's what happened. That's how my baby got here. And I didn't even know I was in labor. Like, being 5 days past due and everything, I guess, like, not wanting to be scared, I totally just made my mind forget that, like, oh, you gotta push this baby out. But he came, he was healthy, no complications for him or for me. I was back up and walking an hour after I gave birth. So I'm grateful for that. I'm happy that I'm able to share my story with you guys. I'm happy that I'm to the point where I feel comfortable enough to share it, you know. So I mean, I'll share a lot more stuff with y'all too, but that's it for today. I just wanted to let y'all know that. And I don't know, I was just sitting, I'm like, you know, I never told them, so I told y'all. So let me know what y'all think. Any other questions y'all have, anything else. If you're like pregnant and you have questions about, you know, maybe finding a birth center, how to go about having your baby at home, how to find a midwife, how to find a doula, like, I'll help you. So just get in my comments, send me a message, doesn't matter. I'll drop my other social medias, y'all can hit me up. I mean, I know I'm a famous YouTuber, but I'm not bougie. So hit me up and we can chat. Thank y'all. Thanks for watching.